telling us about the developments that have taken place in the top court. Niyamika is tracking some political reactions. Niyamika, has the Congress party responded? We spoke to Mr. Saravanan, who says there was nothing wrong with UGC norms. IP Singh says this is a way out for the government given by the Supreme Court. How's the Congress responding?
Well, after the Supreme Court has put a stay on the implementation of the new UGC regulations, there is still no official remarks which is coming in on the part of the Congress party. But earlier we have seen that how the Congress party had targeted the central government regarding the kind of protests which are erupting all across the country. As particularly they are basically the Congress party is basically clearly saying that the BJP government is trying.
Right, Niyamika, sorry to interrupt. We are getting a reaction from the Samajwadi Party.
तौर पे सरकार आ गई और सरकार आज इस कदर आ गई कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट में खामोश हो गई। क्या अब माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट के आदेश से किस बात पे चर्चा की जाएगी? क्या इतने आंकड़े हैं इस कमेटी के पास जो गठित की जा रही है कि सबसे ज्यादा अत्याचार किन वर्ग के लोगों के साथ हुआ है? मैं इतना जानता हूं कि सरकार इसमें दोहरा चरित्र अपनाने की कोशिश कर रही है। एक तरफ सोचती है कि समाजवादियों ने पीडीए बना दिया है और पीडीए एकजुट हो रहा है, तो उस पीडीए को अपनी तरफ लुभाने के लिए इस तरह की चीजें फेंकी जाएं कि पीडीए हमसे सिंपैथाइज हो जाए और अगड़ों को तो हम बना ही लेंगे। निश्चित तौर पे इस देश में ये मैसेज चला गया कि बीजेपी पीडीए के लोगों के साथ न कल थी, न आज है और न भविष्य के गर्त में कभी होगी।
All right, so that was a reaction coming in from Samajwadi Party. Dipankar is getting us more reactions on the Supreme Court's order and observations. Yes, Dipankar.
Well, yes, we have Advocate Vineet Jindal here with us, who is also one of the petitioners who has filed the petition before the Supreme Court challenging the new regulations of the UGC. Let us have a word with him as to know as to what happened inside the court and what is his view on the observations that have come out. Sir, today the Supreme Court, the top court, has stayed the new regulations of UGC and has re-implemented the old regulations. How do you see this order that has come out?
It's a good order because we are always talking about a discrimination which is cited in terms of Section 3C, which is talks about caste discrimination. So today CJI accepted this and accepted our argument that yes, this particular section is creating problem and can be misused. And it can be shown as a different kind of situation where it can be misused. So the CGI agreed on it, and the new regulation has been stayed now. 2012 regulation has been again implemented. So it is a good order, and it is a big win for general community, I can say.
Sir, following up on that, the court has also said that the new regulations are somewhat vague. In a prima facie view, they are somewhat vague and capable of being misused, and has also said that we should be a progressive society, not a regressive society. How do you see these observations coming from the top court?
Look, our argument is this also, that after 77 years of our independence, if we are still talking about caste discrimination, and we are talking about caste discrimination, and we are giving a special privilege to certain castes, it can be it can be terms of to give certain pricks to them, but it cannot be giving a special provision in terms of penal actions. So it has been shown in this particular rules that they have given a special privilege, and the general caste has been excluded out of it. So this is kind of divide and rule policy, and we are talking about this always. And now today the argument is also upon this particular aspect, and CGI appreciated our argument, and that's why this new rules has been stayed.
So this was Advocate Vineet Jindal, who was here apprising us about what has happened inside the court and how does he view the observations that have come out and the order that has come out from the Supreme Court staying the new regulations of 2026 and re-implementing the 2012 old regulations of the UGC.
Absolutely. Well, protests broke out against the discriminatory nature of the norms. We heard the Education Minister say that we'll ensure there's no discrimination, but amidst the protest, and when the matter reached the Supreme Court today, the court also expressed concerns, Bhavtosh, about the language that the court said is vague as far as the regulations are concerned. Number two, this kind of situation can be exploited. And then the court also went on to observe what we have gained as far as a casteless society is concerned. Are we going in a regressive?
Yes, Swati. In fact, in the hearing that took place just few Just few minutes back, Justice Bagchi also in the hearing made a very important point. He said in the hearing, this point was highlighted that unity of India should also be reflected in educational institute, and it should be reflected not only in words but also in action. Now, that point was highlighted by the Supreme Court when this order was passed, and that is one of the reasons why this order or notification has now been put on hold. In fact, Chief Justice of India, I will just quote what he said, that even legislatures having realized that even within reserved communities there are peoples who have become haves. Some communities are enjoying better things than others. It is policy makers' wisdom. Suppose a student belonging to a group of scheduled castes uses insulting language against another community student. Is there any remedy? Now, what it means is that it could be possible that a student from scheduled caste also can use derogatory words against a general category student. Now, many during the hearing, one of the counsel said that it could also be possible that a general category student can also be abused, and there is no remedy for them. Now, these were the arguments that were presented before the court, and it could be possible that this was weighed when this order was passed. Having said that,
absolutely. In
the
fact,
order has
Bhavtosh,
not...
I believe that was also part of the CJI's observations. Deepankar, the CJI observed, suppose a student belonging to a group of SC uses insulting language against another community student, is there any remedy? And that's when the court went on to say that are we moving in a backward direction?
Well, yes, these were the observations of the Chief Justice of India, who was listening this matter regarding the new regulations of UGC, where he remarked that there are certain cases, there are certain states where the backward classes are defined into two different classes, that is class A and class B, and did pose a question where he was asking what will happen if a person from class A makes an insulting remark against the class B, and then went on to say that are we moving into a regressive society, where he also, and I would like to say that I would like to quote from what the Chief Justice of India said, that in a country after 75 years, all that we have achieved to become classless society, are we becoming regressive society? Worst thing which is happening is ragging is that children coming from south or northeast, they carry their culture, and somebody who is alien to them starts commenting on them. So these were the observations that the court had made, and had pointed out that we should move towards a progressive society instead of bringing up with regulations which seem on a prima facie view to be regressive. The court had also went on to point out that these regulations are prima facie vague, and they are also being capable of being misused, and they might be misused. And in that sense, the court sought a response from the Solicitor General of India and from the UGC in order to see as to what their response would be to implement this in such a way where the entire community becomes an inclusive community, and there should not be any kind of discrimination, because the court also said that there should be unity in the educational institution and there should be no discrimination in the educational institution. That is one very important point that the court had made, that the court observed while hearing this matter, as since all these UGC regulations do relate to higher educational institutions. So it is very important that this point that the Chief Justice of India made has to be highlighted, where he said that there should be unity in the higher educations or the educational institutions in the country.
Okay, all right. Bhavtosh is also with us. And Bhavtosh, the petitioner also saying, for the rules that have been brought in for ensuring equity for all, the petitioner saying that this is only going to create further division in the society. Take us through the concerns that were mentioned by the petitioner in the court and the observations that were made by the Supreme Court in halting the new UGC norms. AJ Yadav, we have on the broadcast with us. AJ Yadav ji, now the Supreme Court has put a halt to the UGC norms.
Yes, of course, the government was never fair and honest while implementing this caste-based card, as you say, for UGC. It was actually what the intention was to get to make the Dalits their vote bank. Obviously, it was although they wanted the Dalit vote bank, but it actually divided the society more severely into caste system. And although we talk about casteless society, But the way BJP has been working, it is either trying to divide the society on the basis of religion or on the basis of caste. And this was actually a move to divide the society on the basis of caste. So whatever Supreme Court has done, Honorable Supreme Court, we salute and we must honor.
Okay, but there are leaders from the RJD who were in support of the new UGC rules.
See, of course, even I support the new UGC rules. But then again, I say that the intention of the BJP government was never to promote the Dalits or never to stand for the Dalits. It was only a vote bank card and nothing else. And therefore, if Supreme Court has put a stop to it, I mean, we should respect this.
Okay, all right. You welcome the Supreme Court judgment. We have the petitioner Vishnu Jain also with us, and this was his reaction after the Supreme Court stayed the new UGC rules.
हमें इस बात को समझना है कि बहुत ही सेंसिटिव इशू है और इसको एक लीगल एंगल से, लीगल दृष्टिकोण से हमें देखना है। उसी लीगल दृष्टिकोण से हम इस मामले की पैरवी कर रहे हैं। सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट बात यह है, मैं आपको जिसमें बता दूं कि आज यूजीसी रेगुलेशंस को सुप्रीम कोर्ट में चुनौती दी गई थी, जो नए नियम लाए गए हैं, और सेक्शन 3(1)(c) को चुनौती दी गई थी, जो कास्ट बेस्ड डिस्क्रिमिनेशन को डिफाइन करता है। सेक्शन 3(e) को डिस्क्रिमिनेशन की प्रोविजंस ऑलरेडी हैं। सेक्शन 8(1)(b) और 8(1)(e) को भी डिफाइन, उनको चैलेंज किया गया था। और जब ये सारी बातें सुप्रीम कोर्ट के सामने रखी गई, सारे पक्षों को सुनने के बाद, सॉलिसिटर जनरल ऑफ इंडिया को सुनने के बाद, इंदिरा जयसिंह को सुनने के बाद और हमारे पक्षकारों को सुनने के बाद, माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने आज यूजीसी रेगुलेशन जो नए नियम लाए गए हैं उन पे पूर्णतः रोक लगा दी, उनको अभ्यास में रख दिया है और जो पूर्व के यूजीसी रेगुलेशन 2012 थे उनको प्रभावी किया है, अपनी पावर्स अंडर आर्टिकल 142 को एक्सरसाइज करते।
केंद्र सरकार का क्या रुख रहा है? क्या उसने याचिका का विरोध किया या क्या कहा?
केंद्र सरकार ने कहा कि ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल इशू है और इसको एग्जामिनेशन इसका होना होगा, जब इसका एग्जामिनेशन होगा तब वो अपनी बात रखेंगे।
So this was the petitioner Vishnu Jain argued in the Supreme Court as well. To take us through what happened in the Supreme Court, Bhavtosh, as we were saying, the petitioner had raised several issues, also saying that for the rules that were meant for equity, that was bringing in more divide in society. That was one of the arguments. Take us through what happened in the Supreme Court, the issues that were raised by the petitioner and the observations that were made by the top court.
Well, there were three petitions that were filed in the Supreme Court. One of the petitions that was filed was by a PhD scholar of Banaras Hindu University. Another was filed by a lawyer who practices in the lower court. Now, the points that they had raised were that the UGC notification was discriminatory in nature, and there were no provisions if a false complaint has been filed. Now, in the hearing that lasted for around 45 minutes, the Chief Justice of India has said that there were various vague points as far as the notification of the UGC is concerned. Importantly, Justice Bagchi has said that there should be unity as far as education campuses are concerned. Now, these were the points that were raised, that were mentioned by the bench of Chief Justice of India. Importantly, the Supreme Court had also said that this entire UGC notification had also raised some serious concern, and there should be a panel of eminent jurists who should look into this notification. Now, the UGC notification itself came into existence after Rohit Vemula died by suicide, and notification came into existence on 13th of January.
Just a moment, Bhavtosh, and Dipankar also getting us some reactions. With Dipankar, I'll come to you in just a moment. We have Manav Jaiswal of the TMC on the broadcast with us. Mr. Manav Jaiswal, how does the TMC view the Supreme Court staying the new UGC rules?
First of all, namaskar to the nation. It's a most welcome observation from the Supreme Court, Honorable Supreme Court. You know, the country is actually in huge distress, and above all, when you have a union government which is actually working on the caste system, which is trying to divide the country on the basis of religion, caste, language, and every sort of opportunities as they had as the Englishmen when the British wanted to rule the country. It is very unfortunate what has been happening in the entire country. Be it anything from the Election Commission's review, the SIR, to coming to the UGC, and there are many more things which is happening. And I do remember when in 1990, when the Mandal Commission was actually implemented in the early 90s, this is the same BJP which used to support Vishwanath Pratap Singh's government. And this is how BJP has turned around the country. when the matter of casteism is concerned, as a matter of religious deprivation is concerned, and on top of it, dividing the country at large. It is unfortunate, and we mostly welcome the judgment of Supreme Court because our leader, Mamata Banerjee, and our Supremo, she has always believed in unity of every community. For us, for her, when she goes and makes a statement, then dharmo nije उत्सव सवार. That means हर धर्म के लोग जो हैं वो अपना अपने धर्मों का सम्मान करें, दूसरे धर्मों का सम्मान करें. लेकिन when it comes to celebration, it is for everyone. Be it Muslim, be it Sikh, be it Hindu, be it Bengali, be it non-Bengali, everybody comes together and celebrate. So we want to celebrate the unity of the country, unlike BJP who wants to rule the country. There's a massive difference ruling and serving the country. So once you're serving the country, when you have a motto to serve, you will not see the religion, you will not see the caste, you will not see the language, you will not see the creed. You would only work for the betterment of the country.
Okay, all right. Thank you for joining us on the broadcast. In fact, the Supreme Court has also said that the institutions in the country must reflect this unity of the country, Dipankar.
Well, yes, the Supreme Court has very clearly said that the unity should be displayed in the country, in all the institutions, in all the educational institutions. And we have with us Mr. Advocate Satyam Pandey, who was the first petitioner in this entire case and has kept the ball rolling before the Supreme Court. And let us know as to what he sees, how he sees this order that has come out. Sir, the Supreme Court has very clearly stated that the 2026 new regulations have been stayed and the 2012 regulations have been brought into place. How do you see this order?
I see it as a victory for those who are worried about their future, who are worried that the government is looking them as a casteist, as a criminal, who is looking that their future is in danger. And we are grateful and we are thankful to Supreme Court that Supreme Court has understand our concern and issue notice and stayed the operation of 2026 regulation.
Sir, the Supreme Court, while hearing this entire matter, made certain important observations where the Supreme Court went on to say that the unity should be reflected in all the education institutions throughout the country. And it was also said that on a prima facie view, the new regulations seem kind of vague and they can be misused. They are capable of being misused. How do you see those observations?
Yes, this observation came on my argument when I have categorically pointed out that this regulation is regressive, not progressive, because they have removed the very definition of ragging from the new regulation. And it is well recognized and identified problem across the world and all universities and campuses that ragging is a universal problem everywhere, be it India, be it Europe, be it US, be it Australia, anywhere in the entire world, ragging is a problem. See, when you go to colleges, universities, no one can identify from which caste you belong. But by your appearance, by your looking around the things, seniors easily identify you that you are a junior, you are a fresher, and there is very probability that you will be harassed, you will face the problem of ragging. But suppose if a fresher who is belonging to a general category and faced ragging, he does not have any choice, he does not have any option to make anywhere complaint because he is always in fear that he may face the caste-based atrocities act against him, and his first day or first month or first year will be not in college but in jail. Because I have pointed out this very government has amended the ST Act and made it regulation that there is no provision of anticipatory bail in the cases of SC/ST Act. So the entire future of general category people was compromised. So this is a great relief, and today I am thankful to Mahatma Gandhi that the Supreme Court has proven that this is a country of Mahatma Gandhi.
In fact, Dipankar, on what he was saying as well, the court has also made some strong observations, going on to say in a country after 75 years, all that we have achieved to become a classless society, are we becoming regressive? Pulkit is also joining us, and before going to the court, there were protests that had also broken out outside the UGC as well. Pulkit, many students had been protesting. Are they happy now with the Supreme Court order?
देखिए, मैं आपको दिखा देता हूँ, यहाँ कुछ लोग यूजीसी के ऑफिस के बाहर प्रोटेस्ट करने के लिए पहुंचे थे और लगातार आप लोग प्रोटेस्ट कर भी रहे हैं। तो आज तो एकदम जब यहाँ पहुंचे हैं तो पूरा माहौल बदल गया है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने बड़ा फैसला दे दिया।
बहुत माहौल बदल गया। 1 बजे का आज हमारा प्रोटेस्ट था वाईएसएस के माध्यम से, और 1 बजे ही हमें पता चला जैसी गाड़ी से उतरे कि भाई सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने इस पर रोक लगा दी है। तो आपके चैनल के माध्यम से बताना चाहूंगा, बहुत बड़ी खुशखबरी की लहर है पूरे भारतवर्ष में। ग्राउंड पर
विरोध क्या है, मीठे में बदल जाने वाला है क्या आपका? पहले विरोध हो रहा था, अब क्या मिठाई बंटने वाली है आप लोगों के बीच में?
आप चाहोगे तो बांट देंगे जी, लेकिन मिठाई बंटने की तो बात है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने इन्वॉल्वमेंट डाली है और चीजों पे रोकथाम लगाया है। जितना बड़ा भेदभाव और जातिवाद फैल रहा था उस पे एक तरीके से रोक लगी है।
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कई बातें बहुत महत्वपूर्ण कही, जैसे कि एक तो बहुत सारी चीजों में क्लियर नहीं था नियम जो थे उसमें, फिर कहीं ना कहीं समाज कहीं ना कहीं बढ़ता हुआ नजर आ रहा था। इन सब चीजों को सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने अपनी बातों में कहा।
बहुत बड़े पैमाने पर इन नियमों के कारण बदलाव होता, भेदभाव होता, जातिवाद होता, स्टूडेंट पे प्रेशर होता। आपके चैनल के माध्यम से बताऊं तो हिंदू स्टूडेंट्स आपस में डिवाइड हो जाता, मित्रता भी जाति देखकर करता। मेरे को लगता है सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने उस चीज को देखा और इस चीज को भी माना कि डिस्क्रिमिनेशन सिर्फ और सिर्फ SC ST OBC के साथ नहीं, जनरल के साथ भी होता है।
नियम तो होना चाहिए ना भाई, SC ST या फिर जाति के आधार पर जो भेदभाव विश्वविद्यालयों में नजर आता है और जिसकी चर्चा और तस्वीरें भी खूब आती हैं, ऐसे बहुत सारे केस हैं। पल्लवी का केस है, पायल का केस है, ये सब, इन सब को देख के नियम तो बनाना पड़ेगा।
नहीं, बिल्कुल। अगर किसी को जाति के आधार पर प्रताड़ित किया जाता है तो उस पर कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए। हमारी मांग ये है कि आज की डेट में कोई भी फॉल्स एलिगेशन लगा सकता है। अगर कोई फॉल्स एलिगेशन लगा रहा है अपने किसी बेनिफिट के लिए, इंडिविजुअल बेनिफिट के लिए, तो कम से कम उस पर कार्रवाई तो हो। वो क्लोज क्यों हटा दिया गया?
मतलब वो हथियार न बन जाए,
हथियार न बन जाए। बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। इसीलिए, और दूसरी हमारी मांग थी कि डिस्क्रिमिनेशन, जैसा आपने बताया, सिर्फ SC ST के साथ ही नहीं, सभी बिरादरी के साथ होता है। ब्राह्मणवाद से आजादी, बनियावाद से आजादी, तिलक तराजू और तलवार, मारो इनको जूते चार, ऐसे नारे हम नहीं कहते।
And Pulkit, you know, on the point that was raised by the protester, that has been echoed by the court as well, that prima facie the regulations are vague and it is capable of being misused and they need to be reframed. Do stay with us. We also have Ashutosh joining us on the broadcast from Varanasi, where we are told celebrations have broken out, Ashutosh.
बिल्कुल, देखिए वाराणसी में इस पे जश्न का माहौल है, क्योंकि जिस तरीके से UGC को लेकर ये नया बिल आया था उसके बाद से ही लोगों में खासा गुस्सा था और लोग लगातार धरना कर रहे थे, प्रदर्शन कर रहे थे, अनशन करते थे और सड़कों पर आकर इस बिल के खिलाफ आवाज बुलंद कर रहे थे। लेकिन आज जो उनके चेहरे हैं, आप इन तस्वीरों के जरिए देख सकते हैं कि किस तरीके से खिले हुए हैं। जो लोग हैं वो एक दूसरे को गुलाल लगाकर खुशियां मना रहे हैं और अपनी जो जीत है उसको जाहिर कर रहे हैं। तो निश्चित तौर पे इनके लिए एक संघर्ष का दौर था, उस संघर्ष को इन्होंने झेला और अपनी जो जीत है उसके लिए कहीं ना कहीं सुप्रीम कोर्ट का आभार जता रहे। सीधे हम इन्हीं से बात करेंगे। होली के पहले ही आप लोगों ने आज तो होली खेल ली।
जो होली उत्सव का पर्व होता है और आज हम लोग के लिए उत्सव का दिन है, आनंद का दिन है। हम सब आनंद मना रहे हैं और ये आनंद 12 महीने चलता रहता है। हम लोग तो काशी के रहने वाले हैं, जहां 7 बार 9 त्योहार मनाए जाते हैं। हम लोग ऐसे लोग होकर के, इतने आनंदमय लोग होकर के भी सरकार के खिलाफ 3 दिन तक हम लोग बैठे रहे यहाँ पर। 3 दिन 2 रात, और वो रातें कैसे बीती हम लोग जान रहे हैं। इसके बाद भी
सीएम का संसदीय क्षेत्र है, कितना प्रेशर भी होगा आप लोग के ऊपर?
कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। हम लोग देखिए नारायण के भक्त हैं और सब सनातन वाले हैं, इसीलिए हम लोगों ने आज जया एकादशी के दिन आज हम लोगों ने यज्ञ किया है। हम लोग को तो बल वहां से मिल रहा है, कोई प्रेशर नहीं है। ये इतना बड़ा समाज आपके साथ खड़ा है तो प्रेशर किस बात का है?
प्रेशर किस बात का? सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने आप लोगों के फेवर में एक तरीके से जो डिसीजन है वो दिया है, इस बिल पर फिलहाल रोक लगा दिया है।
देखिए, सुप्रीम कोर्ट को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करना चाहेंगे और ये बिल पे रोक लगना ही था, क्योंकि ये असमानतापूर्ण था। इसमें आर्टिकल 14-15 का प्रथम दृष्टया उल्लंघन हो रहा था और जिस तरह से जनता के मन में इस बिल को लेके भय था, शोषण का भय था, जिस तरह से SC ST एक्ट और DB एक्ट को लेके और तमाम तरह के ऐसे कानून है जिसको बनाया तो गया था समाज की सुरक्षा के लिए, लेकिन उसका मिसयूज होने लगा। तो उस तरह इसका भी
हो रहा था और लगातार जो छात्र थे, जो लोग थे सवर्ण समाज के, वो धरने पर थे। देखिए, कुछ छात्र भी हैं। पिछले 3 दिनों से आप लोग लगातार आंदोलन कर रहे थे, लेकिन आज आपकी बातों को सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने माना, समझा और इस बिल पर रोक लगा दी।
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने हमारी भावनाओं को समझा और सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने समझा कि छात्र की कोई जाति नहीं होती है। विश्वविद्यालय कैंपस में सभी जाति वर्ग धर्म के साथ छात्रावास और क्लासेस भी रहते हैं, सभी जाति के प्रोफेसर पढ़ाते हैं। लेकिन UGC एक्ट हमें आपस में जाति संघर्ष के लिए मजबूर कर रहा था। जिस प्रकार से पिछले दिनों में विश्वविद्यालय कैंपस कैंपस का माहौल खराब हो चुका था। एससी और एससी जनरल छात्र आपस में बढ़ चुके थे और हम लोग 3 दिनों से विश्वविद्यालय परिसर की सभी परीक्षाओं
आखिरकार खुशियों का पल आया आप लोग की।
बहुत आज हम लोग खुश हैं, सुप्रीम कोर्ट का धन्यवाद करते हैं, लेकिन यूजीसी एक्ट पूरी तरीके से माता की जय यूजीसी है, लेकिन हमें अभी हमारी लड़ाई बाकी है जब तक यूजीसी एक्ट को पूरी तरह
देखिए लोगों के चेहरे पे जो खुशियां हैं वो साफ तौर पे जाहिर भी हो रही है और निश्चित तौर पे जो एक आंदोलन का
Holy seems to have come early there.